Hey, it's Christina with Tina Girl Travels. We are here in Chefchaouen. We made it to the Blue City. It's so beautiful here. This city is located in the Rif Mountains of northwest Morocco. It's been made famous by social media over the last few years with its blue washed buildings and the leather and weaving shops lining the steep cobblestone lanes. Interestingly, it's also the only place in the entire world where Keith and I have ever had rocks thrown at our vehicle and witnessed violence. Not directed at us, but involving a group of young men in the town square. I'll talk more about that later in this video. That being said, visiting Chefchaouen was still one of our favorite days on our trip to Morocco. We started our trip from Tangier and decided to make it just a day trip. It's also common for travelers to do day trips from Fez, so let's have a look at a map to give you a better idea of what you can expect. Getting from Chefchaouen to Tangier is easy, but there's no train service. You can take a bus, you can join a tour group, rent a car, or even grab a taxi for the 112-kilometer drive, and it takes about 2 hours. So from Fez, the journey is a bit longer at around 3.5 hours. Again, no train, but the same options apply: bus, rental car, taxi, or an organized tour. Now, if you're looking for simple and stress-free, I would go with a tour. So Get Your Guide offers some great day trips from both cities. They're affordable, convenient, and everything's taken care of for you. And if that appeals to you, I'll add links below in the description for you to check out. We visited Chefchaouen as a day trip, and for us it was plenty of time to take in the highlights. Now, as we drove into the city, we passed through this area, which is the newer, lower part of the town, before stopping at this beautiful viewpoint overlooking the famous blue buildings nestled in the side of the Rif Mountains. From there, we followed our guide into town for a walking tour through the Medina. Our walking tour began here in Ras El Ma. This is a lively area where fresh mountain water flows down into the town. It's a popular gathering spot with small shops, cafes, and locals that are doing their laundry in the river. It's really a glimpse into daily life in Chefchaouen. From there, we made our way into the heart of the old town, winding through the blue painted alleyways, exploring local crafts and soaking in the peaceful atmosphere. It was so beautiful, and our guide was very good. He told us so much great information about this beautiful city. Now, it's worth noting that Chefchaouen isn't the most accessible destination. The old town is built on a hillside. It has steep inclines, narrow passageways, and uneven cobblestone streets. Now, if you have mobility issues, navigating the Medina can be quite challenging. There are very few ramps or handrails, and vehicles aren't allowed in most of the old city, so everything is on foot. Now, that being said, if you were in a wheelchair or have trouble walking and climbing, you could still enjoy certain parts like the main square and the shops and restaurants in that area. While our time in Chefchaouen was mostly beautiful and memorable, I want to be transparent and share something unusual that happened during our visit. So as I mentioned earlier, we were driving into town when a child threw a stone at our tour bus. And I guess this is a bit of a common occurrence in the more rural parts of Morocco. Later that day, as we sat and had lunch in the town square, the host of the restaurant, so that guy that's trying to get you to come in and eat at the restaurant, got into it with a guest, and it got quite heated, and his friends had to come and calm him down. He was super hopped up, and we felt quite uncomfortable. It was really a weird situation. Later on, after exploring the city, we came back to the town square to meet our guide, and we witnessed a group of youth fighting in the town square. So this was the first time we've ever experienced anything like this in our travels, and while these incidents were brief and they didn't impact our overall experience in a major way, I felt it was important to mention them to give you a full picture of our day and to say it's really remarkable, with all the traveling Keith and I have ever done, that this is the first time we've experienced this, and I sure never expected it to be in Chefchaouen. I will say we never felt unsafe as tourists, and we would definitely still still go back here for sure. One of the most striking things about Chefchaouen is, of course, the blue. Now, blue is my favorite color, so I love this place right off the bat. Nearly every wall, doorway, and stairway in the old town is painted in some shade of blue. But why? So there are several theories, and some say the tradition began with the Jewish refugees in the 1930s who painted buildings blue to symbolize the sky and remind them of heaven. Others believe it keeps mosquitoes away or that the color keeps the town cooler in the hot summer months. Our guide offered a more practical explanation. The blue paint helps hide scuff marks from footballs and kids playing in the narrow alleyways. Well, whatever the reason, the result is a city that feels calm, cool, and incredibly photogenic. Now, if you watch my channel, Tina Girl Travels, you know I love global shopping, and shopping in Chefchaouen is a real treat. And actually, out of all the cities we visited in Morocco, it had the best authentic, handmade, and really nice Moroccan souvenirs, and they were well priced. Now, if you love unique handmade items, this Medina is full of small shops selling colorful things like woven blankets, rugs, scarves, leather goods, locally made soaps and oils. It's a great place to pick up things like hand-painted pottery or paintings or traditional slippers. Compared to the bigger cities like Marrakesh or Fez, the vibe here is more relaxed. The shopkeepers are friendly, less pushy, so you can take your time and browse and even bargain a little bit. Just wander through the stalls. It's part of the experience. You're gonna love it. I actually bought one of these paintings here. Make sure you stop and take a break throughout the day. Those pastries were so delicious. There are very interesting places to stop for lunch, and there's even this place here for coffee. Lots of different cafes to check out. One thing you'll definitely notice while you're wandering the streets of Chefchaouen is the number of cats. They're everywhere, lounging on doorsteps, they're sunbathing on ledges, they're keeping cool in shady alleyways, and even posing perfectly in front of the blue walls like they know they're part of the charm of the city. Most of them are strays, but they seem well fed, and we saw them being cared for by the local community. The cats add kind of a peaceful vibe to the town, and if you're a cat lover, you're going to love Chefchaouen. Let's take a quick look at Chefchaouen's history. It wasn't always known as the Blue City. It was actually founded in 1471 as a fortress to defend against Portuguese invasions, and later it became a refuge for Muslim and Jewish people fleeing the Reconquista in Spain. The town stayed isolated for centuries, and non-Muslims weren't even allowed in until the 1920s during Spanish occupation. Today, you'll see a blend of Moroccan, Berber, and Andalusian influences throughout the Medina, especially in the architecture and the details. Thanks for taking the time to watch my video on Chefchaouen. Be sure to give my video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and ring that bell. I would also love to know where in the world you're watching from. Leave me a note in the comments section below. Check out the links I've added below to get your guide, as well as the best anti-theft backpacks, day packs, and crossbody bags that we always travel with. On this trip, we used jetpack eSIMs to keep connected, and they worked great here in Chefchaouen and all over Morocco. Here are some videos I think you might like watching next. Thanks for watching Tina Girl Travels, and I will see you again soon.